Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to learn about science. Hi, everybody. I am Miss Emily from the Kunkel Creation Station at the Fredricksen Library, and today we are going to talk about roller coasters. So we are going to talk a little bit about the science behind roller coasters, and then we're going to talk about the engineering process. And then at home, you can design your own roller coaster for some kind of marble or small ball that you have. So to design your roller coaster, you can use any materials you have around your house. For mine, I use toilet paper rolls, but if you don't have that, you could also use paper. You can fold it up kind of like a hot dog, like this, and you can cut it up. You could use cardboard, you can use Legos, whatever you have around. You could use blocks. Get creative, right? That's one of the things we always say in the Kunkel Creation Station, is that one of our important rules with science is to be creative. So if you have a marble, that's probably the best sphere that you can use, but ping pong balls would work too. I have an old lip balm because I don't have any marbles in my house. This was the closest thing I had to a sphere. So this is what I decided to use for my roller coaster. So get creative, look around, see what you can find. Just make sure that you ask a grown-up before you use anything, right? You don't want to cut up an important piece of paper or use something that they had other plans for. All right, so what is going on with a roller coaster? So a roller coaster is a great demonstration of kinetic energy and potential energy. A marble at the top of the track of your roller coaster has potential energy. And when the marble rolls down the track, that potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy. Real roller coasters use a motor to pull cars up the hill. And when they're at the top of the hill, they have a lot of potential energy. Remember, when they go down, they get kinetic energy. The next thing we're going to talk about is G-force. So G-force is the force of gravity upon a body as it accelerates. So if you've ever gone really fast on a roller coaster, if you've ever been in a car that goes really fast, you might feel that force pressing you back, right? So that's called G-force. Some roller coasters actually create more G-force than the astronauts experience when they're launching in a rocket. Can you believe that? The astronauts experience a G-force of 3.4, and there are roller coasters like the one in Six Flags, California, that can get up to a G-force of 4.9. That's a lot more G-force than the astronauts experience, isn't it? All right, so now that we know a little bit about some science behind roller coasters, we are going to talk about the engineering process for when we are designing our own roller coaster. So I will link to this handout if you and your grown-up want to take a closer look at it. So this is, it has the engineering design process, and it has all the steps. And we're going to go over those together about how to design a roller coaster. So the first step in the process is to ask. So what problem are we trying to solve with our experiment? What are we trying to do? So think about it for your roller coaster, and you can talk about it with your grown-up. You can pause this video. You can talk about it later. You can write it down. So the problem that I'm trying to solve with my roller coaster is that I want the ball to go from the top of the roller coaster to the bottom of the roller coaster safely and with as much fun as possible, right? So those two things are equally important to me. I want the ball to be safe. I don't want it to go flying across the room or fall really hard on the floor. But I also want it to have a fun ride, so I want it to go nice and fast, right? All right, so our next step is to research the problem. So how do you think you would research roller coasters? Where would you look for information about roller coasters? Think about it, talk to your grown-up about it, and let me tell you where I would do my research. So I would look at videos of roller coasters, and I'll link to some for you. I would look at pictures of roller coasters to see what they look like. I would read a book about roller coasters. I would maybe read some articles about roller coasters. collect as much information as I can. And I would talk to people who've been on lots of roller coasters. I would think about when I've been on roller coasters, what it's like, and what I like as a passenger on a roller coaster, right? Because I want to design a roller coaster that I think would be fun for the little ball. All right, so that is how you're going to research the problem. The next step is to imagine. So I want you to close your eyes and think about what your roller coaster is going to look like. If you have paper and a pencil, you can sketch out what you want your roller coaster to look like. Make your design as detailed as possible. Label what materials you're going to have, and draw it out. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is you're going to plan and select a solution. So what you're going to do is you're going to combine all your ideas about the roller coaster, and you're going to consolidate them into one idea that you're going to actually build. So some things to think about during this step is I want you to think about, do you have all of the materials that you need for the roller coaster you designed? Because if you designed a roller coaster using these toilet paper rolls and you're out of toilet paper rolls, well, you got to design a different roller coaster, right? So do you have all the materials you need? Is your roller coaster the highest at the beginning, right? Because we need the roller coaster, we need gravity to help us get the ball down. So if your roller coaster starts in the middle and then it goes up, well, we don't have a motorized car like they do in theme parks, right? All right, so that's something else to think about. And you also want to think about how things like gravity and friction are going to affect your design in the real world after you build it. So if you have a lot of friction going on, if you have something that isn't perfectly smooth, it could get stuck, right? You want to think about that. So the next step is to create a prototype. So you want to build your first example of your roller coaster. So let me show you mine. So you can see this is my roller coaster that I built out of toilet paper towel rolls and tape and cardboard. So I am going to take my ball and we're going to put it in here and we're going to see what's going to happen. Now I've only tested this a few times, so you'll see when I see. Oh, looks like right here it fell out, right? So that did not accomplish my goals of being safe and fun, right? So that means it's time for our next step, which is to improve and redesign, right? So we know this isn't a perfect roller coaster. We know we need to improve things. So this is a good time. If you have a lot of things you want to change, sketch it out on a piece of paper. You can use the same piece of paper you used before, just change it up, amend it a little. Or I just have a couple things I want to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape and let's take a look. Let's see if we can fix this. So I think what happened is this piece didn't catch my ball. So I'm going to add some more tape. I'm going to make it a little bit more secure. Whoops. So you want to make sure when you're doing this that you have everything nice and secure and safe. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to retest it and see if my test worked. All right, so let's hold it up. And it didn't work again. So it's time for me to go back to the drawing board and figure out what is going on with my roller coaster. So maybe I need another piece. Maybe I need to take another paper towel roll. Maybe I need to completely take this off and completely readjust it, right? There's lots of different things I can try to make it work. So let's try it again. It didn't work again. So how many times do you think you should keep trying it? Do you think you should try 1 time, 2 times, 3 times? You should try as many times as you want, right? Until you feel like your roller coaster is the best it could be. So the last thing you're going to do is iterate your design. So that means you keep testing it and you keep improving it over and over and over again, right? So you can work on your design for as long as you want, make it as creative as you can. One fun thing to do is if you have a bunch of different kinds of balls, you can test them out and see how they react differently to your roller coaster. So if you have like a marble and a ping pong ball and maybe some kind of clay ball, you can see how they go. If you have a timer, you can always time them and see how they go differently. You can adjust your roller coaster, see if starting from different points makes it run better or worse. You can try all kinds of different things. So, like I said, I am going to link to some roller coaster videos in the description of this video, and I will also have the engineering design process there for you. So if you make your own roller coaster, I would love to see pictures of it. I would love to see videos of your roller coasters. Once the library is back open, if you have it and you want to bring it into the library to show me, I would love that. But in the meantime, happy engineering, get creative today, and I will hope to see you all again soon. Bye!